Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Well, happy day before Friday, everybody, as we're close to the weekend here on Primetime Local News. Great stuff coming up for you in the next hour or so. We're live from the brew house. And, of course, we're also talking Movember with Josh Ryan, whose stash is
awesome.
I guess that's awesome. A fair assumption, but we finally figured out the gentleman's name from the Addams Family, which is Gomez. And
Gomez, yeah, because I thought he looked like the dad from the Addams Family, and I couldn't remember the name of the dad. Mom's Morticia, and then the dad's Gomez. So that's what I think he looks like.
I only know there's Uncle Fester. It looks like Cousin It. I think that's a real person. And
Wednesday.
Yeah, right? Wednesday. That's another one. Yeah, that's a good point. Because
that's all I got.
That's all you got. Well, yeah. That's all I got. I didn't watch a lot of it as a kid. But we're going to have all this and more coming up for you in the next hour. But right now, let's send it over to Brett Holden, who's live at the brew house.
I am here at the Canadian Brew House at the celebrating 26 years of cancer safety. It's a breast cancer fundraiser put on by the Safety Services. We are going to be talking to some of the organizers about the importance of an event like this and much more, and hopefully going to be talking to some people affected. But first, we are going to be heading right back down into the studio to see what's going on with them.
And the local Salvation Army Corps is kicking off their Red Kettle campaign for the Christmas season.
Say it's underway, and I hope the donations flow in.
Mayor Alberts was the first to donate to the familiar Red Salvation Army bucket. The church will have volunteers stationed outside of businesses starting December with the goal of raising $55,000 for Lloydminster's less fortunate.
I hope people take the time to visit with those that are jingling the bells, because that can be a long shift. And if you have some extra time, they'd love to have volunteers step forward. And I think as our city is showing, people will come forward.
The Salvation Army has been in the community for 98 years, and they will be collecting monetary donations for the community from December 1st to the 23rd. Those interested in volunteering to stand on a kettle may contact them. And decorating for the Christmas season may feel the same every year. However, just like everything else, style in Christmas decorating comes and goes. And our Brett Holden has more on how you can stay in style this holiday season.
Whether we're talking about jingle bells or those little lights of yours, decorating for the holidays has different styles. So what's the new trend this year?
So there's lots of great new trends in Christmas decor this year. Christmas decor is looking at a more casual coziness. Hug egg, that you've probably heard that name. It's a Norwegian Scandinavian name that means coziness and warmth during the winter months. It's something that the Norwegians and Scandinavians have really taken in, and I think us as Canadians are really applying it to our decor ideas this year.
Nesman says that when it comes to trees, something common that is being seen is the flock trees, in addition to colors like rose gold, champagne, and bronzes, also mixing the metallic colors as well.
Another color we're seeing a lot of is a mint, like a pastel green. It's looking really sharp, especially on those new flock trees that are coming out. And then you're seeing a lot of the traditional like red and black check, the buffalo plaid or the black and white check, adding a little bit of birchwood into it.
There are even new styles for the traditional holiday decorators as well.
A great way to spice things up is adding some florals. So we have lots of different picks that you can add into your tree and give yourself a new color scheme while still having your old colors, or adding ribbon to give more texture into your trees. Even just picking up one or two new items that maybe has some feathers on it, or that has the buffalo check if that's where you want to go. That'll still make your traditional tree look new, fun, and festive.
Decorations around your house can be spiced up as well.
As for trinkets around the house is adding little lights into things. So if you have a glass jar at home, adding some little micro mini lights, adding some your favorite Christmas tree ornament into that glass, adding the mini lights up your banisters, your staircase, adding the greenery into it.
Brett Holden, Primetime Local News.
With the holiday season fast approaching, the Lloydminster SPCA has a policy on adopting animals as Christmas gifts. The SPCA doesn't allow adopting animals as a gift unless it can be proven that the person receiving the animal really wants it and is serious about it. If things don't work out with the animal, there is a return and exchange policy where an individual has 30 days to bring the animal back, but chances of exchanging for new animals are slim.
If we find that you are just kind of going on a whim, like we said, we do ask those adoption questions kind of thing. We if it's not, sounds like it hasn't been talked about, then we kind of lean away from it, kind of thing, just because we don't want that animal to end up coming back, you know, a week or so later, kind of thing.
If the shelter decides to host a Home for the Holidays event, adoption rates during the season do see an increase. This event is more specific to cats, but if they have a higher volume of dogs, they will include adult dogs as well. And the ladies with the Quilters Guild are making sure kids in need are receiving some love this season. Bags of Love is something Darlene is very passionate about, and she wants to make sure children going into the foster care has some personal items to take with them.
And they get this overnight bag of stuff they can always keep, because when they go into care, those children don't get a bag. They don't get anything to keep. They don't have any luggage. The bag becomes their luggage, and the cuddle quilt is theirs forever and everything that's inside it.
The bags are made for all ages and include things like toiletries, socks, and books. And if you'd like to donate, they're always looking for items.
Children's books, gently used toys, and new stuff. If they want to buy socks for the kids or make toques, you know, in the winter we make sure every bag has toques and mitts and scarves and stuff like that.
Last year they made 150 bags, and this year to date they have already made 158 and counting. And now we're going to send it to Brett Holden, who is live at the Canadian Brewhouse.
I am joined now by Janice, who is a general manager and an owner at CanSafe. And now, Janice, you have a wonderful story to tell us. Can you just share your story with us?
Hi. So 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and it was an unbelievably humbling experience. The support that I got from my friends at work, from my family at home, you know, I got flowers from our clients. I've been there 22 years. People just simply know who I am. And if it wasn't for that, there is no way I would have made it through that as unscathed as I did. And it was just, for me, it was such an easy process. As I walked through the cross cancer, when I was going in for my radiation treatments, I would see people sitting there and my heart broke, because I knew that my experience was not going to be what some of theirs was. So my hope is that there are people who have before me paved the way to make this easier for me, that with what we raised tonight, we can make this easier for other people who are going through this. Breast cancer is not just a woman thing anymore. Everybody is involved, and it doesn't matter if you're young or old.
Well, we're going to have a little bit more from the Canadian Brewhouse. Janice, I appreciate you telling your story to us tonight, but we're going to head back into the studio and see what's going on with them.
All right, thank you very much, Brett. Taking a look at some temperatures right now. -3 as I turn the other way. -3. There are some foggy skies out on the road as it's getting to that cooler temperatures. Still no signs of flurries yet. That's not probably going to be until later on in the evening, closer to midnight. Taking a look at some records for this time of year. 11 back in 2004 and -26 back in 1986. So very different numbers than we're seeing here today. Take a look at some satellite radar maps. Little bit of cloud coverage. Of course, we did have a very cloudy day, not as quite like we had the last 3 days. It all came in from that west side as it comes in, as this was earlier from the day, and the clouds will still continue to roll on as the snow is expected to come later on into the evening. Taking a look at some watches and warnings, there is a snowfall warning, more so out west, way past Edmonton there, but we aren't in that area for a snowfall warning. But like I said, we will get some snow accumulation over past midnight tonight, and then possibly on Sunday night as well. Taking a look at some temperatures currently, -3 in North Battleford, Lloydminster, and as well as Saskatoon. -6 in Cold Lake, 0 out in Edmonton and Edson, and -4 in Athabasca. Taking a look at some temperatures around the region now. -3, like I mentioned, in North Battleford, -14 overnight with cloudy skies, and -12 with some sun and cloud mix tomorrow in North Battleford. Cold Lake, -14 overnight with cloudy skies, and tomorrow a little bit of sunshine, but mostly cloudy, sitting at -10. And for us here in Lloydminster, we are going to get -14 -14 overnight, and tomorrow it's going to be mostly sunny skies with some mix of cloud coverage with that wind overnight. It feels a little bit cooler than -14. Taking a look at the next 3 days, as I mentioned, we are expecting a bit of snow, or a lot of snow, I guess, with that 84% chance of some precipitation. Mostly snow on Sunday at the high of -2 and a low of -13. So it's a little bit warmer compared to what we may see overnight in terms of temperature-wise. But we'll have more of your weather details coming up later after the break.
Welcome back. Well, in the hectic growing and harvest season, many people may have missed that the Pest Management Regulatory Agency is reviewing the use of 2 chemicals that are essential to the growing process. In this week's Agriculture Report, Gerard Lampow finds out how producers and consumers could be affected by the final decision.
If the PMRA decides to move forward with this phase out, these products will not be available after 2024.
Mark Walker with the CCGA says they are concerned about the impact on producers that the possible loss of existing agronomic tools will have on their ability to produce food in a sustainable and environmentally safe manner.
PMRA, the Pest Management Regulatory Agency, came out with their proposed special review decision for clothianidin and thimethoxam, which are used as seed treatments on canola.
The CCGA have submitted their concerns and are encouraging producers to make their own submissions.
We support the PMRA in their evidence science-based approach, but there were some things that we noticed that maybe could have been a bit stronger, and so we tried to outline those for them, as well as risk mitigation. We asked that they take risk mitigation measures into account.
The Canadian Canola Growers Association wants all evidence to be considered before a final decision is made.
The way that these chemicals move through water is a large part of how the PMRA made its risk assessment, and we looked at some studies and saw that perhaps if they'd incorporated those studies, their water model could have been stronger.
Walker says it's possible the PMRA is overestimating the levels that the chemicals could be found in water. These seed treatment chemicals are used to protect the seed from pests during the early life of the plant.
These particular chemistries have never been found in food. They are very targeted, very specific chemistries that work on one type of insect, flea beetles, that are very they can wipe out a canola crop in a matter of days.
The seed treatments allow other beneficial insects to thrive under the canola canopy, which is a good fit for the environment. To lose these chemicals will mean producers may have to revert to previous measures, which will have environmental and sustainability consequences. But here's the main take-home for consumers.
There's no pesticides in your canola oil.
Gerard Lampow, Primetime Local News.
This Ag Report is brought to you by the Lloydminster Co-op Agro Centre. Depend on them for product, tools, and expert advice. Shop at your local Lloyd Co-op Agro Centre with branch locations in Lashburn and Neilburg.
That's it for your Ag News. Sports is next, but first let's take a look at those egg prices.
Every member of the City Centre Auto Body team has been through extensive training. We're constantly upgrading our team's education to reflect current collision repair technique.
Well, despite the Lloydminster Bobcats falling 2-1 to the Grand Prairie Storm, fans got their admissions worth last night at the Civic Centre as the Lloydminster Bobcats responded to an emotional week with one of their best games of the season. Josh Ryan has more on the team's first game with Nigel Dubé behind the bench.
Disappointment is natural after a home loss in the AJHL, but for the Bobcats, the frustration felt in recent weeks had lifted somewhat after a game where, barring 60 seconds, they played well enough to win.
They were really unlucky bounces, and it sucks that it happened, but when that happens, we just have to stay focused, and like the game's not over, right? So
they were energized before, and we talked about that previously, and it showed, right? They competed, they found ways, and did good things out there.
The Cats traded scoring chances throughout the contest with the Storm, and after cutting the deficit to 1 on Ty Moseman's first goal of the season, they had several chances to equalize in the final minute.
We felt like we were playing one of our better games of the season all game long, and especially at the end there, how we battled back and almost came back from down 2-0 with 7 minutes left, and you can definitely tell it's a different feeling on the bench.
After struggling over the past week, rookie Cale Elder had one of his best outings between the pipes, making key stops in each period.
He's played minutes that most 20-year-olds are playing at this time of year. So for him, it's good experience. For us, it's good experience for him moving forward in the future. And you know, he's going to have those ups and downs, and he's going through them as a starter right now.
Dubé was pleased with the scoring chances generated and believes they will start to convert more of them moving forward.
I think if anything we can take away from that is, you know, that's going to be opportunity for us down the stretch here. Just throwing pucks, you know, I think we can still generate more, gain pucks to the net and stuff like that. But again, 36 hours worth, I'm pretty pleased with their effort tonight.
And while the losing streak is now at 6 games, there's more confidence coming out of the locker room.
Going into this road trip, it'll definitely boost our confidence a little bit, just knowing that we can keep up with the better teams, and we know that we can play with everyone.
Josh Ryan, Primetime Local Sports.
The Lloydminster Barons men's volleyball team is in Prince Albert for the weekend for the Saskatchewan 5A Provincials. The Barons qualified in their first year of Saskatchewan competition by defeating Carleton to finish 3rd in their region. Pool play match times for the team are 2:15 and 4:15 tomorrow, and 9 o'clock and 11:15 Saturday morning. And now we're going to head it back to Brett Holden, who is live at the Canadian Brewhouse today.
So I'm joined here once again by Rob Monroe. And Rob, now that the event has been underway, what's the reception been like?
Wow. We've had people drive in from Meadow Lake, right, to come out and support the event and the company. It's absolutely incredible seeing such a diverse group of people that are looking to work towards common goals. And it's absolutely amazing the amount of support that we receive just from everybody, right? It's a really, it lets you know you're doing something right. You're with right people.
Absolutely, and I know we're being a little talked over right now, but you have just such a huge collection and some of the silent auction available as well. How has that gone over so far?
It's incredible. I haven't even got over and been able to get to the table to see all of the different things that people have brought out. It's like I say, the support has just been absolutely amazing, and we are so thankful for the people that do come out and support us. 26 years, and we're hoping for 26 more, right? And I'm telling you, with the people I see here, I can't see how it's going to go any other way, right? It's just an incredible group. You want to continue working with them.
Absolutely. So we're going to have a little bit more just talking about some CanSafe in general and some stuff like that. I know we were talked over a little bit, but it is what it is. But coming up in a little bit, like I said, we're going to be talking about a little bit more about CanSafe and getting to know them a little bit more. But let's head back into the studio and see what's going on with them.
All right, thanks very much, Brett. Seems like a great crowd out there at the brew house. Taking a look at some current temperatures right now for us. -3 throughout the region in Marwayne, Vermilion here in Lloydminster, as well as Maidstone and North Battleford. Up a little bit colder out in Isla Crossing at -12, -7 in Meadow Lake and Green Lake, and St. Walburg as well. Out on the Alberta side, -5 across the board in St. Paul and Bonnyville, -1 in Provost and Macklin, and 0 out in Edmonton, -6 for Lac La Biche. Take a look at some other temperatures. -22 in Stony Rapids, -21 in Uranium City, very much colder in the Saskatchewan side parts there, -13 in La Loche and Buffalo Narrows. Out on the other side of us, high level at -14, as well as in Fort McMurray, -15 in Fort Chipewyan, and -7 in Slave Lake. Heading down south now, taking a look at some temperatures there. 5 out in Banff, 5 in Medicine, 7 in Lethbridge, 1 in Coronation. And taking a look at Saskatchewan, 2 in Swift Current and Moose Jaw, 1 in Regina and Estevan. And this is kind of, oh, sorry, not the snow accumulation one, but this is for tomorrow. So we're going to be a little bit colder than we were today, -11 in the region in Bonnyville, Lloydminster, Vermilion, and -12s out in St. Paul and Marwayne, as well as in North Battleford. Now, take a look at the snow accumulation over the next little bit here, as you can kind of see as it starts heading in from Friday night. Not too much. We're still going to get some tonight, maybe past midnight, but Sunday is where it's going to be the bulk of it. As you can see, at around 5 o'clock, we'll kind of get closer to the 4-centimeter mark. As you can kind of see on the top right of your screen, there's the color chart there. So be prepared for the weekend. Make sure you're out there driving safely if you are traveling. And if we take a look right now at the school day forecast, -14 to start the morning off at 8 a.m., -13 at recess time. So it's going to be a sun and cloud mix all day, -12 at lunchtime and at home time as well. Take a look at the 7-day forecast. As I mentioned, -2 on Sunday, and there will be a very high chance of some snow for that day. +1 on Monday, +2 on Wednesday. So it gets a little colder after Friday, a little warmer, excuse me, after Friday. So +2 on Wednesday with that sun and cloud mix, +1 on Wednesday, mostly sunny skies. Thursday, we could see some snow creep up again with that 65% chance of snow, sitting at the high of -5. We'll have more primetime local news for you after this commercial break.
Celebrating 26 years of safety at the breast cancer safety fundraiser put on by CanSafe Safety Services. And tonight we learned a lot about just CanSafe in general, but also we learned about some of the stories behind the fundraisers as well, and the faces behind some of the stories too. Down here at the Canadian Brew House, there is a silent auction as well going on that will go to breast cancer awareness, but that will be all for us here at the Canadian Brew House. Join us tomorrow when we will be in Cold Lake watching the Cold Lake Wings play against some American competition, so make sure you join us for that. Thank you for joining us tonight, and let's head back into the studio for them to wrap up tonight's show.
All right, thanks very much, Brett. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast once again. -11 tomorrow, -7 on Saturday, -2 Sunday with that 84% chance that we'll get some snow. +1 on Monday, +2 on Tuesday, so it gets slightly warmer. Then back to +1 on Wednesday, mostly sunny skies. -5 on Thursday with that 65% chance of precipitation. So we will get some snow probably past midnight tomorrow into tomorrow.
Not
but
bad weather, though.
No, it's not bad.
Last weekend was way worse, so this was way better.
Oh, yeah. Very. But you know what's not bad is Josh Ryan's mustache.
I know. It's so awesome. The whole office has been talking about it for like a good week. It's pretty impressive.
Did you see that look on his face? Like
Yeah. Can you do the one eyebrow raise? I can't. Oh, you can do it pretty well. Josh Ryan's the page for the donations are great.
No, it's
I
great.
love it. Yeah.
Josh Ryan is a class act. He's a great guy,
Yeah.
though.
So I wonder how much he got donated so far. We should check in with that.
Yeah, definitely. We will. But that's going to do it for us here this evening, folks. Thanks so much for watching. Have yourselves a great night.